In Islamic eschatology, the figure of the Dajjal is a prominent and foreboding character, often referred to as the false Messiah or the Antichrist. The term Dajjal means deceiver in Arabic, and he is depicted as a malevolent being who will appear before the day of judgment, spreading corruption and chaos. The narrative of the Dajjal serves as a stark warning to the faithful, urging them to remain vigilant and steadfast in their faith. This story delves into the origins, characteristics, and the ultimate fate of the Dajjal, providing a comprehensive overview of one of Islam's most intriguing eschatological figures. The concept of the Dajjal, also known as the false Messiah or Antichrist, is deeply rooted in Islamic eschatology, drawing from a rich tapestry of religious texts and traditions. To understand the origins and significance of this ominous figure, one must delve into the early Islamic scriptures, particularly the hadiths, which are the recorded sayings and actions of the Prophet Muhammad. These texts provide a detailed and chilling portrayal of the Dajjal, presenting him as a harbinger of chaos and deception who will emerge in the end times to test the faith of believers. The earliest references to the Dajjal are found in the Hadith collections, where the Prophet Muhammad warned his followers about the coming of this great deceiver. According to these accounts, the Dajjal will appear from the east, specifically from the region of Khorasan. Khorasan, a historical and geographical region, encompasses parts of present-day Iran, Afghanistan, and Central Asia. This area was historically significant in the Islamic world, known for its scholarship and cultural contributions. The choice of Khorasan as the origin of the Dajjal imbues his story with a sense of historical and geographical context, making his eventual emergence all the more foreboding. The Hadiths describe the Dajjal as one of the major signs of the Day of Judgment, an event that will be preceded by a series of trials and tribulations. These signs, known as the minor and major signs, serve as markers for the approaching end times. The appearance of the Dajjal is classified among the major signs, indicating the severity and significance of his role in the eschatological narrative. The Prophet Muhammad emphasized the importance of recognizing these signs to prepare the faithful for the trials ahead. The name Dajjal itself is derived from the Arabic root word Dajjala, which means to deceive or to lie. This etymology underscores the essence of the Dajjal's character as a deceiver par excellence. His entire existence is centered around the act of deception, leading people away from the path of righteousness and into a state of moral and spiritual corruption. This deceptive nature is not only confined to his actions, but is also reflected in his physical appearance, which is described in stark and unsettling terms. The physical description of the Dajjal in the Hadiths is both detailed and symbolic. He is often depicted as a man of medium height, with a stocky build and curly hair. His most distinctive feature, however, is his eyes. The Dajjal is described as being blind in one eye, with the other eye protruding like a bulging grape. This asymmetrical and grotesque appearance serves as a metaphor for his inner moral and spiritual blindness. In some accounts, it is said that the word kafir, unbeliever, will be inscribed on his forehead, a mark that only true believers will be able to read. This physical mark is a stark reminder of his inherent evil and serves as a warning to the faithful to recognize and resist his influence. The early Islamic texts also highlight the Dajjal's supernatural abilities, which he will use to deceive and manipulate people. These abilities include performing miracles, such as bringing the dead back to life, causing rain to fall, and providing abundant harvests. Such feats will lead many to believe in his false claims of divinity. The Dajjal's capacity to perform these miracles is a test for humanity, designed to distinguish the true believers from those who are easily swayed by worldly temptations and false promises. In addition to the hadiths, the Quran, while not explicitly mentioning the Dajjal, alludes to the trials and tribulations that will befall humanity in the end times. Various verses speak of false prophets and deceivers who will arise to lead people astray. Islamic scholars have often interpreted these references as indicative of the Dajjal's role. The interplay between the Quranic verses and the hadiths provides a comprehensive framework for understanding the Dajjal's place in Islamic eschatology. Throughout Islamic history, the story of the Dajjal has been a source of contemplation and reflection for scholars and theologians. It has inspired a vast body of literature, including commentaries, treatises, and even poetic works. These writings explore the moral and spiritual implications of the Dajjal's emergence, offering guidance to the faithful on how to remain steadfast in the face of deception. The Dajjal's narrative also intersects with other key eschatological figures, such as the Mahdi and Jesus, Isa, creating a complex and interwoven tapestry of end-time events. The Mahdi, often referred to as the Guided One, is another pivotal figure in Islamic eschatology. According to tradition, he will appear before the Day of Judgment to restore justice and righteousness. The Mahdi and the Dajjal represent opposing forces, with the Mahdi embodying divine guidance and the Dajjal symbolizing ultimate deceit. The eventual confrontation between these two figures is a central theme in Islamic end-time prophecy. In addition to the Mahdi, the return of Jesus, Isa, holds significant importance in the narrative of the Dajjal. Islamic tradition holds that Jesus will descend from the heavens to join forces with the Mahdi in the final battle against the Dajjal. This collaboration underscores the unity and shared purpose of divine messengers in the fight against evil. Jesus' role in defeating the Dajjal is a testament to his enduring significance in Islamic theology and his pivotal role in the eschatological drama. The physical description and traits of the Dajjal, as detailed in Islamic texts, serve as both a warning and a guide for the faithful. These descriptions are rich with symbolism and are intended to provide believers with the means to recognize and avoid the deceptions of the Dajjal. His appearance is designed to be a stark contrast to the righteous and the pious, making him easily identifiable to those who possess true faith and discernment. The Dajjal's most prominent physical characteristic is his blindness in one eye. Islamic tradition holds that he will be blind in his right eye, which will appear dull and sightless, while his left eye will protrude abnormally, bulging out like a swollen grape. This asymmetry is not merely a physical defect, but a profound symbol of his moral and spiritual corruption. The stark contrast between his two eyes represents the duality of his nature, the outward appearance of power and charisma, hiding the inner reality of moral blindness and deceit. The one functioning eye, grotesquely exaggerated, suggests an overemphasis on material and worldly vision at the expense of spiritual insight. In addition to his distinctive eyes, the Dajjal is described as having the word kafir, unbeliever, inscribed on his forehead. This mark, visible only to true believers, serves as a divine indicator of his true nature. The term kafir is significant in Islamic theology, denoting someone who rejects or covers the truth. The inscription on the Dajjal's forehead symbolizes his ultimate rejection of divine truth and his role as the epitome of falsehood. This mark acts as a beacon for the faithful, guiding them to recognize the Dajjal despite his attempts to masquerade as a savior or divine figure. The Dajjal is also described as being short and stout, with a ruddy complexion and curly hair. These features further differentiate him from the archetypal images of prophets and righteous figures, who are often depicted with a dignified and noble bearing. His physical form is meant to be unsettling and unattractive, reinforcing the idea that his inner corruption is reflected in his outer appearance. The description of his curly hair and ruddy complexion adds to his distinctiveness, making him easily identifiable even in a crowd. The hadiths provide additional details about the Dajjal's appearance, emphasizing his unique and unsettling features. For instance, some traditions mention that his teeth will be crooked and his ears will be large, further adding to his grotesque and fearsome visage. These descriptions are intended to make him recognizable and memorable, ensuring that believers can identify him without hesitation. The combination of these physical traits creates an image of the Dajjal that is both fearsome and repellent, serving as a stark reminder of his malevolent nature. Beyond his physical characteristics, the Dajjal is endowed with supernatural abilities that he will use to deceive and manipulate people. These abilities include performing seemingly miraculous feats that will convince many of his divinity. Among these feats are the power to bring the dead back to life, to heal the sick, and to provide abundant food and water. These miracles, however, are mere illusions designed to ensnare the unwary and the weak in faith. The Dajjal's ability to perform such feats highlights the extent of his deception and the severity of the trials that believers will face. The Dajjal's power to perform miracles is central to his role as a deceiver. He will claim to be a prophet and eventually declare himself to be God, using his abilities to support his false claims. His miracles will be particularly effective in times of hardship and scarcity, as he will be able to provide for those who follow him, while those who reject him will suffer deprivation and persecution. This ability to control resources and manipulate the environment will make him a formidable opponent, and many will be tempted to follow him in hopes of gaining material benefits. The narrative of the Dajjal emphasizes the importance of faith and discernment in the face of such overwhelming deception. Believers are urged to recognize that the Dajjal's miracles are not signs of divine favor, but tests of their faith. The true test lies in the ability to see beyond the superficial and to recognize the underlying falsehoods. This discernment is a key theme in the story of the Dajjal, reinforcing the importance of spiritual insight and unwavering devotion to God. Islamic tradition also provides guidance on how to protect oneself from the Dajjal's influence. One of the most widely recommended practices is to recite specific verses from the Quran, particularly the opening and closing verses of Surah Al-Kahf, chapter 18. These verses are believed to offer protection against the Dajjal's deceptions and to strengthen one's faith. The story of the people of the cave, which is recounted in Surah Al-Kahf, serves as a powerful allegory for the trials and tribulations that believers will face, and the importance of seeking refuge in God. The Prophet Muhammad also advised his followers to seek refuge in the holy cities of Mecca and Medina, as the Dajjal will be unable to enter these sanctuaries. The sanctity of these cities, protected by divine decree, serves as a safe haven for believers during the tumultuous times of the Dajjal's reign. This advice underscores the significance of these holy sites in Islamic tradition and the importance of maintaining a connection to the sacred in times of crisis. In addition to these spiritual practices, the narrative of the Dajjal emphasizes the importance of community and solidarity among believers. The trials of the end times are not meant to be faced in isolation, but within the supportive framework of the Muslim Ummah community. The collective strength and shared faith of the community provide a bulwark against the Dajjal's deceptions, offering mutual support and guidance in times of adversity. The story of the Dajjal also intersects with the broader themes of Islamic eschatology, particularly the roles of the Mahdi and Jesus, Isa. The Mahdi, the Guided One, is prophesied to appear before the day of judgment to restore justice and righteousness. He will unite the Muslim community and lead them in the fight against the Dajjal. The Mahdi's emergence is a source of hope and reassurance, signaling the eventual triumph of good over evil. The return of Jesus, Isa, is another pivotal element in the narrative. Islamic tradition holds that Jesus will descend from the heavens to join forces with the Mahdi in the final battle against the Dajjal. This collaboration highlights the unity of divine messengers in the struggle against falsehood and deception. Jesus' role in defeating the Dajjal is a testament to his enduring significance in Islamic theology and his pivotal place in the eschatological narrative. The period of the Dajjal's reign, often referred to as the Reign of Deception, represents one of the most tumultuous and challenging times for humanity in Islamic eschatology. According to various hadiths and Islamic scholars, this period will be marked by unparalleled deceit, chaos, and widespread moral corruption. The Dajjal will emerge as a charismatic and persuasive figure, capable of misleading vast numbers of people through his extraordinary abilities and cunning. The onset of the Dajjal's reign will be preceded by a series of signs and events that will foreshadow his arrival. Among these signs are the breakdown of moral and social order, increasing injustice, and the proliferation of false prophets. These conditions create an environment ripe for the Dajjal's influence, as people, desperate for salvation and guidance, become more susceptible to his deceptive promises. His appearance will exploit the existing turmoil, positioning him as a figure of hope and authority in a world descending into chaos. One of the most significant aspects of the Dajjal's reign is his claim to divinity. He will initially present himself as a reformer or a prophet, gaining the trust and allegiance of many. As his influence grows, he will begin to make more grandiose claims, ultimately declaring himself to be God. This blasphemous assertion will be supported by his ability to perform miracles that defy natural laws. For instance, he will command the skies to rain and the earth to yield abundant crops, providing sustenance and prosperity to his followers. These miracles will be seen as proof of his divine status by many, further cementing his power and influence. The Dajjal's ability to perform such miracles is often described as a test from God, designed to challenge the faith of believers. His miracles are not genuine acts of divine intervention, but rather illusions meant to deceive and mislead. Despite their apparent reality, these miracles are hollow and devoid of true spiritual significance. The faithful are urged to see through these deceptions and recognize them as trials meant to test their resolve and adherence to true faith. In addition to his miraculous abilities, the Dajjal will use fear and coercion to enforce his rule. Those who refuse to acknowledge his divinity and submit to his authority will face severe persecution. This persecution will take various forms, including economic deprivation, social ostracism, and physical violence. The Dajjal will control resources such as food and water, denying them to those who oppose him. This control over essential resources will make it extremely difficult for the faithful to resist his rule, as they will face the harsh realities of starvation and suffering. Despite these challenges, the narrative emphasizes the importance of steadfastness and unwavering faith. Believers are encouraged to remain firm in their conviction, trusting that their perseverance will be rewarded in the afterlife. The story of the Dajjal serves as a powerful reminder that material prosperity and physical well-being are transient, while spiritual integrity and faith are eternal. The faithful are urged to prioritize their spiritual health over their physical comfort, even in the face of extreme hardship. The Dajjal's reign will also be characterized by widespread moral decay and societal breakdown. His influence will erode the ethical and moral foundations of society, leading to increased corruption, injustice, and immorality. Traditional values and religious principles will be undermined, replaced by a culture of hedonism and materialism. The social fabric will fray as individuals prioritize their own desires and interests over communal well-being and moral rectitude. This moral decay will further entrench the Dajjal's power as people become more self-centered and less resistant to his influence. The period of the Dajjal's reign is also marked by significant technological and scientific advancements, which he will manipulate to further his deceptive agenda. These advancements will be used to create convincing illusions and enhance his control over the masses. The Dajjal will harness the power of media and communication technologies to spread his message and solidify his authority. The widespread dissemination of his propaganda will make it difficult for the truth to be heard, as misinformation and deceit dominate public discourse. This technological manipulation underscores the importance of critical thinking and discernment in the face of pervasive deception. The narrative of the Dajjal also emphasizes the role of community and solidarity among believers. In the face of such overwhelming deceit and coercion, individual resistance may seem futile. However, the collective strength of the Muslim Ummah community provides a bulwark against the Dajjal's influence. Believers are encouraged to support and protect one another, offering mutual aid and guidance in times of adversity. The sense of communal solidarity not only strengthens individual resolve, but also serves as a counterforce to the Dajjal's divisive tactics. The Hadiths provide several strategies for believers to protect themselves from the Dajjal's influence. One of the most important recommendations is to seek refuge in the holy cities of Mecca and Medina. These cities are considered sacred and are believed to be protected by divine decree, making them safe havens from the Dajjal's reach. The sanctity of these cities offers a spiritual refuge, where believers can find solace and support in their faith. Reciting specific verses from the Quran, particularly the opening and closing verses of Surah Al-Kahf, chapter 18, is another recommended practice. These verses are believed to offer protection against the Dajjal's deceptions and strengthen one's faith. The story of the people of the cave, which is recounted in Surah Al-Kahf, serves as an allegory for the trials and tribulations that believers will face. It underscores the importance of seeking refuge in God and remaining steadfast in faith. The narrative of the Dajjal also intersects with other key figures in Islamic eschatology, particularly the Mahdi and Jesus, Isa. The Mahdi, known as the Guided One, is prophesied to appear before the Day of Judgment to restore justice and righteousness. He will unite the Muslim community and lead them in the fight against the Dajjal. The Mahdi's emergence provides hope and reassurance, signaling the eventual triumph of good over evil. The return of Jesus, Isa, is another pivotal element in the narrative. Islamic tradition holds that Jesus will descend from the heavens to join forces with the Mahdi in the final battle against the Dajjal. This collaboration highlights the unity of divine messengers in the struggle against falsehood and deception. Jesus' role in defeating the Dajjal is a testament to his enduring significance in Islamic theology and his pivotal place in the eschatological narrative. The ultimate confrontation between Jesus and the Dajjal is a dramatic and decisive event. According to tradition, this battle will take place near the gates of Lydda, modern-day Lod in Israel. Jesus, upon his return, will pursue the Dajjal and ultimately slay him, bringing an end to his reign of deception. This victory represents the triumph of divine truth over falsehood and the restoration of justice and righteousness. The death of the Dajjal will usher in a period of peace and spiritual renewal. With his defeat, the forces of evil and deception will be vanquished, paving the way for a new era of harmony and divine justice. Jesus and the Mahdi will establish a just and righteous order, guiding humanity towards true faith and moral integrity. This period of renewal fulfills the promises of divine justice, offering hope and reassurance to the faithful. The role of Jesus, Isa, in Islamic eschatology is crucial, particularly in the context of defeating the Dajjal. Unlike the Christian understanding, Islam views Jesus as a prophet and a key figure in the events leading up to the Day of Judgment. His return is seen as a momentous event that will signal the final battle between good and evil, culminating in the defeat of the Dajjal and the establishment of divine justice. According to Islamic tradition, Jesus will descend from the heavens during a time of great turmoil and strife. This period will be marked by the widespread influence of the Dajjal, who will have spread his deception and established a tyrannical rule. The faithful will be enduring severe persecution and hardship, and the world will be in desperate need of salvation. The arrival of Jesus is thus seen as a beacon of hope and divine intervention. The exact location of Jesus' descent is specified in several hadiths. It is said that he will descend near the White Minaret in the eastern part of Damascus, Syria, wearing garments dyed with saffron. This vivid imagery is meant to be unmistakable, ensuring that believers can recognize the event when it occurs. His descent will be marked by a sense of awe and reverence, as it will be a miraculous event witnessed by many. Upon his descent, Jesus will join forces with the Mahdi, another central figure in Islamic eschatology. The Mahdi, whose name means the Guided One, is believed to be a descendant of the Prophet Muhammad and will appear before the end times to restore justice and guide the Muslim community. Together, Jesus and the Mahdi will unite the faithful and prepare for the final confrontation with the Dajjal. Jesus' role in this eschatological narrative is multifaceted. First and foremost, he will act as a unifying figure, bringing together various factions within the Muslim community and rallying them against the common threat posed by the Dajjal. His presence will bolster the faith of believers and inspire them to remain steadfast in their resistance to the Dajjal's deceptions. In addition to his role as a unifier, Jesus will also serve as a judge and leader. He will implement divine justice, rectifying the wrongs that have been committed and ensuring that the principles of Islam are upheld. His judgments will be guided by divine wisdom, and he will rule with fairness and compassion, restoring order and righteousness to a world plagued by chaos and corruption. The final confrontation between Jesus and the Dajjal is a dramatic and decisive event in Islamic eschatology. This battle, which is said to take place near the gates of Lydda, modern-day Lod in Israel, will be the ultimate showdown between the forces of good and evil. The Dajjal, with his vast following and supernatural abilities, will pose a formidable challenge. However, Jesus, endowed with divine support and the backing of the faithful, will ultimately prevail. According to tradition, Jesus will engage the Dajjal in direct combat and by divine decree will kill him, thus ending his reign of deception and tyranny. This act will symbolize the triumph of truth over falsehood and the victory of divine justice over corruption and evil. The death of the Dajjal will mark the beginning of a new era of peace and spiritual renewal. Following the defeat of the Dajjal, Jesus will take on a central role in guiding humanity towards true faith and righteousness. He will lead the believers in establishing a just and harmonious society, where the principles of Islam are fully realized. This period, often referred to as the Golden Age, will be characterized by peace, prosperity, and spiritual fulfillment. During this time, Jesus will perform several significant actions that further emphasize his role as a restorer of divine order. He will break the cross, a symbolic act that signifies the rejection of any false beliefs and the affirmation of the pure monotheistic message of Islam. He will also kill the swine, symbolizing the eradication of any practices that are contrary to Islamic teachings. These actions will reinforce the importance of adhering to true faith and will help to purify the community from any remnants of falsehood and corruption. In addition to these symbolic acts, Jesus will also abolish the jizya, a tax historically levied on non-Muslims living in an Islamic state. This action will signify the establishment of a just and equitable society where people are not burdened by unfair taxes and where true justice prevails. The abolition of the jizya will also emphasize the unity and equality of all believers under the divine order established by Jesus and the Mahdi. The leadership of Jesus during this period will be marked by compassion, wisdom, and a deep commitment to justice. He will serve as a role model for believers, demonstrating the principles of Islamic governance and leading by example. His rule will be characterized by fairness and benevolence, ensuring that the rights of all individuals are protected and that the community as a whole prospers. The period of Jesus' rule will also be a time of spiritual revival. Under his guidance, the believers will experience a renewed sense of faith and devotion. The trials and tribulations of the past will be seen as tests that have strengthened their resolve and deepened their connection to God. This era of spiritual renewal will be marked by increased piety, adherence to Islamic principles, and a collective commitment to maintaining the divine order established by Jesus. The narrative of Jesus' role in defeating the Dajjal and leading humanity towards a just and righteous society serves as a powerful lesson for Muslims. It emphasizes the importance of faith, perseverance, and the ultimate triumph of divine justice. The story highlights the interconnectedness of the eschatological figures in Islamic tradition, showcasing how their combined efforts will bring about the final victory of good over evil. The return of Jesus and the defeat of the Dajjal also reinforce the core Islamic belief in the oneness of God and the importance of monotheism. Jesus' actions, such as breaking the cross and killing the swine, symbolize the rejection of any forms of idolatry or false beliefs. This narrative underscores the centrality of Tawheed, the oneness of God in Islam, and the necessity of maintaining pure and unadulterated faith. Moreover, the story of Jesus and the Dajjal serves as a reminder of the transient nature of worldly power and the enduring significance of spiritual integrity. The Dajjal's reign, despite its apparent strength and influence, is ultimately doomed to fail. In contrast, the victory of Jesus and the establishment of a just and righteous society highlight the eternal nature of divine justice and the ultimate triumph of truth. In conclusion, the role of Jesus in Islamic eschatology is pivotal, particularly in the context of defeating the Dajjal. His return signifies a momentous event that will bring hope and salvation to the faithful. Through his actions and leadership, Jesus will restore divine order, establish justice, and lead humanity towards true faith and spiritual fulfillment. The narrative of Jesus and the Dajjal offers profound lessons on the importance of faith, perseverance, and the ultimate triumph of divine justice. The aftermath of the Dajjal's defeat and the establishment of a new era under Jesus, Isa, and the Mahdi marks a significant turning point in Islamic eschatology. This period, often referred to as a time of peace and righteousness, will be characterized by the restoration of justice, the renewal of faith, and the unification of humanity under the banner of true monotheism. With the death of the Dajjal, the forces of falsehood and deception will be vanquished, bringing an end to the trials and tribulations that have plagued humanity. The defeat of the Dajjal will be a profound moment of divine intervention, symbolizing the triumph of good over evil and the ultimate victory of truth. This event will have a transformative impact on the world, ushering in an era of spiritual and moral rejuvenation. Jesus and the Mahdi will play central roles in guiding humanity through this period of renewal. Their leadership will be marked by a commitment to justice, compassion, and adherence to divine principles. Together, they will work to rebuild society on the foundations of righteousness and faith, addressing the injustices and moral decay that characterize the Dajjal's reign. One of the first tasks of Jesus and the Mahdi will be to restore true Islamic teachings and eradicate any remnants of falsehood and corruption. This process will involve re-educating the community about the core principles of Islam, emphasizing the importance of Tawheed, the oneness of God, justice, and compassion. They will lead by example, demonstrating the values of humility, piety, and selflessness. Their actions will inspire the faithful to recommit to their faith and to live according to the teachings of the Quran and the Sunnah. The society established by Jesus and the Mahdi will be characterized by justice and equity. They will ensure that all individuals are treated fairly and that their rights are protected. This commitment to justice will be reflected in all aspects of governance, from legal proceedings to economic policies. The leaders will work to eliminate poverty, reduce inequality, and create opportunities for all members of society to thrive. Their governance will be guided by the principles of shura, consultation, and collective decision-making, ensuring that the voices of the people are heard and respected. Economic prosperity will be a hallmark of this new era. Under the just and equitable rule of Jesus and the Mahdi, resources will be distributed fairly, and the needs of all individuals will be met. The period of scarcity and deprivation that characterized the Dajjal's reign will be replaced by abundance and sufficiency. The leaders will implement policies that promote sustainable development and responsible stewardship of natural resources. This economic stability will allow individuals to focus on their spiritual and moral growth, free from the worries of material insecurity. The social fabric of the community will also be strengthened during this period. The emphasis on compassion and mutual support will foster a sense of solidarity and unity among the believers. Jesus and the Mahdi will encourage the establishment of strong family and community bonds, promoting values such as respect, empathy, and cooperation. This renewed sense of community will provide a supportive environment for individuals to practice their faith and contribute to the collective well-being. Education will play a crucial role in the renewal of society. Jesus and the Mahdi will prioritize the dissemination of knowledge and the cultivation of intellectual and spiritual growth. Educational institutions will be reformed to reflect Islamic values and principles, ensuring that students receive a holistic education that nurtures their intellectual, moral, and spiritual development. This emphasis on education will empower individuals to make informed decisions and to contribute positively to society. The period of Jesus' rule will also be marked by significant advancements in science and technology. These advancements will be guided by ethical considerations and will be used to enhance the well-being of humanity. Scientific research and technological innovation will be directed towards solving pressing issues such as health, environmental sustainability, and social welfare. The integration of scientific knowledge with spiritual wisdom will create a balanced and harmonious approach to development. Interfaith harmony and cooperation will be another important aspect of this era. Jesus, as a figure revered in both Islam and Christianity, will play a pivotal role in fostering understanding and collaboration between different religious communities. He will work to dispel misconceptions and promote dialogue, emphasizing the shared values and common goals of all faith traditions. This interfaith cooperation will contribute to global peace and unity, helping to build bridges between diverse communities and cultures. The spiritual revival during this period will be profound. Under the guidance of Jesus and the Mahdi, individuals will experience a renewed sense of connection to God and a deeper understanding of their faith. This spiritual awakening will manifest in increased acts of worship, devotion, and charitable deeds. The community will be characterized by a heightened sense of moral integrity and a commitment to living according to the teachings of Islam. The narratives and lessons of the trials endured during the Dajjal's reign will be preserved and taught to future generations. These stories will serve as powerful reminders of the importance of faith, perseverance, and vigilance. They will underscore the transient nature of material power and the enduring significance of spiritual integrity. The experiences of this period will be integrated into the collective memory of the community, reinforcing the values of resilience and steadfastness. The global impact of this new era will be significant. The principles of justice, compassion, and faith established by Jesus and the Mahdi will resonate beyond the boundaries of the Muslim community, inspiring people of all backgrounds to strive for a more just and equitable world. The example set by these leaders will serve as a beacon of hope and a model for ethical governance and societal development. The teachings and legacy of Jesus and the Mahdi will continue to influence future generations. Their contributions to the restoration of faith and justice will be remembered and celebrated, providing a lasting source of inspiration and guidance. The principles they upheld will serve as a foundation for continued growth and development, ensuring that the community remains aligned with divine guidance. In conclusion, the aftermath of the Dajjal's defeat and the establishment of a new era under Jesus and the Mahdi represents a period of profound transformation and renewal. This era will be characterized by justice, compassion, and spiritual revival, as humanity is guided towards true faith and righteousness. The leadership of Jesus and the Mahdi will inspire the community to rebuild society on the foundations of Islamic principles, fostering a sense of unity, equity, and moral integrity. The lessons learned from the trials of the past will strengthen the resolve of the faithful, ensuring that the values of faith, perseverance, and vigilance continue to guide their actions and aspirations.